Right guys, welcome back, Benelli Tom. Right, so the purpose of this video is to talk about wiring and how to do some basic wiring repairs and how to helps with your fog lights, etc. So this video is not to teach people how to suck eggs. So those of you that know how to do it, great. It's more for those people that don't know how to do it and are spending money paying people to do the wiring. So, as always, my videos are to try and save you guys as much money as possible. So, what we've got here is some basic stuff on what you can get and the kit you need to do some wiring jobs, okay? All this kit you can find on Amazon, eBay, and so on. So if you get some decent tools, so you need wire strippers, wire clips, these all come together. I mean, you can find all this sort of stuff on eBay and Amazon, okay. I'll also show you how to connect these up. A lot of people are asking me, how do you actually use these? Again, you can buy the two-way connectors, Amazon, eBay, they just look like that. So that's one way. Another way you can connect wires together, which is one of my personal favorites, is the old heat shrink. These are a great bit of kit, makes it all waterproof. So let's get cracking. Different connectors, again, Amazon, eBay. Let's get cracking. Let's show you how to strip some wires and connect wires together, so you're not frightened of getting your fog lamps on and connecting them together and doing it in a safe way, making sure that the waterproof and you're not going to blow your fuses, etc. Okay, so just opening up this kit, you've got different ways and different joints of opening and splicing cables. So these are just ordinary cables here that I've got from Halfords. Again, you can get your cables from any stores that wherever you are in your country. So decent pair of wire snippers. Snip the wire. Now obviously you do this to the size that you want, okay. So once you've got your wire and you've decided which connector that you want on, we need to strip the end, okay. So these are perfect for that sort of thing, okay. So it's just a wire snipper that goes in there, clamps down, and as you can see, there you go. So you don't need to get it in your teeth and bite it off and do your teeth in, okay. So that's one way of doing it, okay. You've got your wire like that. You can do the other end, okay. I'll cut another piece of wire off. There's multiple ways you can do this, connecting wires together, multiple connections, multiple methods, but it's just having the confidence to do it. The only tip I'll give you is, before you do your project, whatever project it is you're doing, do what I'm doing now. Get a couple of bits of wire and practice what you're doing before you actually get onto the bit of kit and do it. So, right, so let's say we want to join a couple of bits of cable together. There's loads of different methods of doing it. So I'm just going to show you a few of how to do it. Now, I'm not an electrician, I'm not a mechanic. I'm just, handy. Right, so one method is using the heat shrink, one of my personal favourites. So you basically thread it through like it was a needle. So it's on your cable. And then there's a couple of ways you can do this, okay? So you can either fan them out, like so, fan them out, and fan the other side out, like that. Push them together like so, yeah, and then go clockwise one way and anti-clockwise the other way. So one way clockwise, the other way anti-clockwise. Now I've left the gap quite big, purely so you guys can see it a bit better. Okay, so that connection there is connected, it's solid. Now, if you want to be uber connected on it and make it really good, you can solder it. Now, a lot of people are frightened of solders, or they make the mistake of putting the solder on the soldering iron and then doing it. Okay, so the easiest way to use a soldering iron, let's assume just for a second that my screwdriver is a soldering iron. Heat the wire up with the soldering iron. Don't get your solder like so. Make sure it's soldering wire, yeah, for wire, not for plumbing. A lot of people will put the solder on the end of the soldering iron and dab it on like this, and it gets all lumpy in that. Don't do it like that. Heat up the wire with the solder. When that solder iron has got that wiring hot, the solder, as soon as you put it onto the wire, will melt onto the wire. And that's the easiest way to solder it, okay? And that's one method, okay? The other method, like I said, is the heat shrink. So remember, I put the heat shrink on there. We've tied them together, fanned them out, tied them together, one clockwise, one anti-clockwise. So that's quite tight now. And we push that along till it goes into the middle. Here we go. So now, as you can see, that's in the middle. And you just use a heat gun. Use a heat gun, and that tightens that all up and makes it waterproof. Now, I don't know if my lighter will do it, because I haven't got a heat gun with me, but you get the point. You just heat it up. So, that all comes nice and tight. Keep moving it, keep turning it. See how nice and tight that is now? Make sure it's nice and tight in the middle. Now look how long that took. Okay, and that was just with my lighter, not even a heat gun. And hopefully you can see now that still hot is secure. And that's how easy it is to do a connection, and that's watertight as well. Now, if you want to be, you know, make it even better, you can use some of your masking tape, insulation tape, and tape around the edges as well. Okay, so obviously it's black to black and red to red and so on and so on, whichever cable that you're using. Okay, so that's one way of connecting a couple of wires together, and it's dead easy. So these sorts of kits come in a box like that, and they come with shrink tape on it, and also the connectors. And like I say, you can get them on eBay, Amazon, and so on and so forth, and they're a great bit of kit. And you can see that now I'm pulling away at it, and if you're on your motorbike, you ain't going to get that much movement. That's solid, and it's waterproof, so happy days. Okay, so that's one method of connecting to your fog lights. The other method is the clips. A lot of people ask me about these clips and how to use them. Mandatory coffee. These couldn't be easier to use. Okay. So just twist the end. But we'll use another cable, right? Let's get another cable. Let's get a red cable. Okay. So red. Where's my snips? So splice. Okay. So you got your male, and then you've got your female. Okay. And you have 2 sets of pins in these double connector clips. Okay. You've got your long, thin ones, which look like that. Okay. And you've got your 2 stubby ones. Oops, just dropped one. Which look like that. Okay. So that's what that looks like. Okay. So, which goes into which? And it's quite important, because you don't want to put one like that and one like that into the plug. They're actually both the same in each one. So, the short, stumpy ones go into the male. So these short, stumpy ones go into that male. The long-nosed ones, which you can see here, there's a big difference between that one and that one. Okay, big difference. So the long ones go into the female. Okay, so they go into there, one in each side. So to wire them up, it's dead easy. Couldn't be easier. Okay, so in the pack you get these little grommets, these little rubber grommets, the yellow grommets. So first of all, you put the yellow wire grommet over your cable, like so. So it now looks like that. Okay. Then, let's say we're doing the male fitting. You get your male fitting, which is the short, stumpy one. You place that on there, like that. And the yellow bit goes, can you see the 2 little teeth at the side here? These 2 little teeth. Them 2 little teeth go just round the edge of the yellow bit. I personally just pinch them together with my fingers temporarily. Stop it falling off. And it looks like that. So you can see the wires there now. Okay. Now I actually find the easiest way to clip these and pin these is using a long nose pair of pliers. So in the middle, you've got 2 pins that need to go down onto the wire. Okay, and you just pinch the pins together. So, you see that? So I'm going to go 1 now. That's 1 down. Can you see 1 down now? The other one's sticking up. I'm hoping the camera's picking this up. And now I'm going to put the other one down. Pinch them together. And now it's flat. You can't see the cable underneath. In other words, it's connected. It's got a connection. And then the 2 around the yellow bit, you just squeeze down. 1, 2. Make sure it's firm. Okay. And that's on now. Give it a little pull. Make sure it's on. And if you've done it wrong, it'll come out like that. Bloody great. Anyway, you get the point. So it goes like that. So make sure the pin's down well. Okay. Right. don't pull it too hard like I've just done. So anyway, so that's how that goes on there. Then you get your male. Now, it's dead important with this. When you're using these, now that bit could be connected to your bike or vice versa. The biggest tip I'll give you on these, before you put your connections into this to connect to that, is what colour codes they are. So one might be green, one might be black or whatever. One might be red, one might be black. The point is, you have to match. This is the same colour as matching. So if the live is green, you make sure your live on here is going in the right connection, in the right hole. To help you do that, on all of these, they're numbered. 1 and 2. In other words, port 1 and 2. Now, I don't know if the camera is going to be able to pick this up. Let's hope so. Let's try on this one. Let's see if you can see it better on this one. At the end there, 1 and 2. Okay. So, obviously, if as a rule, the live goes into 1 and the earth goes into 2. Just make sure you're matching them up correctly. Because if this is the opposite way to what you've got in there, even though it connects together, it ain't going to work. Okay, so, self-explanatory. So once you've got your connector on, you go to 1. Just double check. This is number 1. This one's number 1. And all you do is upright, you just push it in like that. This has already got a connection in. I'm going to need to get another one. Back to me. Back to my toolbox. I didn't realise that I already used that one. Here we go. Just take these out. Okay, so connector, male, remember the small one, just slides into there like that, and you'll hear a little click and you'll feel a little click, and that way you know it's in. And if you pull it gently, see it's not coming out, and that's as simple as it is, just like that. And then obviously you do exactly the same process with the black cable and put it into number 2. That's it. That's how easy it is. It's as simple as that. So again, you'd go to number 2. For argument's sake, we'll use this black one. These are ones I've used before. So like I say guys, the whole point of this video is not to teach anybody how to suck eggs. It's for those that don't know how to wire or are scared of doing it, okay? So I'm just going to trim a bit of this off because it's too long. Okay, yellow bit goes in first, just like before. Okay. female fitting. So the male fitting, remember, is the long, thin one. There's a big difference between the two of them. Okay? So you're using the same fitting. Squeeze it into the port. If I use this one, no, if I use that one. Sorry, keep using it. I'm sorry about this, guys, but you get the general idea. Have anybody got an organised toolbox? I don't. Right. So there we go. Right, so that just goes on there. Pinch them together with your fingers, like I said before, just to hold it into place. Okay. Get your nose pliers. Just crimp it down. One, two, and then the yellow bit. One, two. Okay, so as you can see, that's nice and secure now. Okay, you can't see any of the cable because it's crimped together. Right, so we go back to our male fitting. So remember, it's the short one for the male and the long ones, these long ones for the female, for that one. Yep. So again, you just push it in, the two little pins there, upright, into port number 2. Push it in, you'll feel a little click. Let's see if you can hear it. Don't know if you heard that or not, but it's in. I'm giving it a little tug there. It's not coming out, look. They're not coming off. And that's how easy it is to fit these. And you do exactly the same process with this. So obviously, your red would go into red, into 1. And your black would go into 2, which is 2. So when you come into this and you connect them together, like that, obviously the red would be here at number 1, and the black would be there at number 2. So make sure, because it's dead easy to get them mixed up, okay? But if you look on there, you'll see 1 and 2, okay? And that's how easy it is to use the connectors, to get the connectors, and to connect them to your Benelli. Because as you know, that's what's behind your fairing, okay? And that's how easy it is to wire up one of them. Couldn't be easier. All right. So there's a couple of methods I've shown you now on how to do connections. So you've got that one. You've got that one. The other one you can do is crimping. So our same bit of wire here. We'll just cut it. You'll see these, again, that's in that box there. This is not waterproof if you do this one, by the way. So you'll see, like, if you look inside, there's like a little arch, okay? So one goes into one arch, and the other one goes into the other arch. like so. And then you get your crimp, you crimp them together. There we go, done. So they crimp together. Okay, and obviously this isn't waterproof, this connection, so you can put again a bit of masking tape, round insulation tape. So that's another method of connecting cables together. Okay, so right now I've shown you 3 methods in which you connect a cable. Okay, so you've got your sleeve method, you've got your waterproof method, and you've got your 2 connector method. Okay, so my personal favorite are these. They're just so easy to use, so easy to use. Okay, remember the tip I made about the soldering iron. So remember, heat up the wire, then put the solder onto the wire. You can use a bit of flux as well, what they call flux on the wire. So you just heat up the wire. Once the wire gets hot enough, the solder will melt automatically onto that wire. Okay, but that's without soldering, and you can see how solid that is. That's nice and dry. That'll stay waterproof, and that connection isn't coming apart. Okay, so that's the point of this video today. Just to show you how to do some cabling, wiring. I hope you found it helpful. I hope it saves you money. If you've got any questions, let me know, and if there's any more videos you want me to do, just let me know. Okay, so as always, thank you to you all. This is Benelli Tom signing off. Be safe, ride safe. God bless.